You say yes. You are physically there in the moment, but somewhere between your body and your mind there is a distance you cannot explain. It is not that you do not love them. It is not that you are unfeeling. It is that intimacy has become something you endure rather than something you experience. And you have probably never said this out loud, because how do you explain that you feel nothing when you are supposed to feel everything? There are 7 hidden psychological reasons this happens. And reason number 5 is the one most women never realize they are carrying. By the end of this video, you will understand why your body shuts down and what that numbness is actually trying to tell you. This is about the psychology your body will not let you ignore anymore. This can happen to anyone. Today we're focusing on how it often shows up in women. Let me tell you what we are covering today. 7 psychological patterns that can cause emotional shutdown during intimacy. Number 1, depletion, when you have nothing left to give. Number 2, performance pressure, when intimacy becomes another role. Number 3, invisible resentment, when the relationship feels unequal. Number 4, shame conditioning, when your body learned that wanting is wrong. Number 5, nervous system shutdown, when your brain goes into protection mode. Number 6, relational mismatch, when needs do not align. Number 7, the absence of reciprocity, when you give but do not receive. If even one of these resonates, you will finally have language for something you have carried in silence. Let's start with the first one. Depletion. Let me describe what this actually feels like. You wake up at 6 a.m. Before your eyes are fully open, you are already thinking about what needs to happen today. The kids need breakfast. Lunches need to be packed. Someone has a doctor appointment. The laundry from yesterday is still sitting there. Your work deadline is tomorrow. You get everyone ready. Make sure they eat. Make sure they have what they need. You are managing 3 different schedules in your head while brushing your teeth. You get to work. Spend 8 hours solving problems, managing tasks, handling people, being professional, being competent, being reliable. You come home, the house needs attention. Dinner needs to be made. Homework needs supervision. Someone is upset about something. Your mother called. She needs something. Your friend texted. She is going through something. You listen. You help. You manage. By 9 p.m. you finally sit down. Your body is tired. But your mind? Your mind is still running the calculations. What did I forget? What needs to happen tomorrow? Did I respond to that email? Is there anything in the fridge for breakfast? And then your partner reaches for you. And you feel nothing. Not because you do not love them, but because there is nothing left. You have been giving all day to everyone. Every moment has been about someone else's needs, someone else's emotions, someone else's schedule. Here's the part nobody talks about. Psychology calls this cognitive load. It is the amount of mental processing your brain is doing at any given moment. For many women, cognitive load is constant. It never turns off. By the time intimacy happens, the battery is already at 5%. Think of it like this. Imagine your emotional energy as a battery. Every interaction drains it. Every responsibility, every moment of caretaking, and your brain trying to protect you quietly pulls you back. It creates distance. It numbs sensation. It removes you from the experience, so you do not have to fully feel how depleted you are. Your system is running on fumes, and intimacy requires energy you simply do not have. This is not about low desire. This may be about a nervous system in complete overload. If you felt a quiet yes in your chest, just now keep watching, because this gets deeper. Reason number 2, performance pressure. Here is what most people do not understand. For many women, intimacy is not just about 2 people connecting. It is tangled up with every other role they are expected to perform. You are a partner, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a professional, a caretaker, and each of these roles comes with expectations, spoken and unspoken. As a partner, you may feel pressure to be available, affectionate, interested, engaged. As a mother, you may feel you are supposed to be selfless, patient, always there. As a daughter, you may feel you should check in, help out, be dutiful. As a professional, you are expected to be competent, reliable, not too emotional. And somewhere in all of these roles, you disappear. You stop being a person. You become a system, a function, something people turn to when they need something. And intimacy becomes just one more role, one more expectation, one more way you are supposed to show up for someone else. Psychology calls this role strain. It happens when the demands of your different roles exceed your capacity to meet them. This is where it gets uncomfortable. You spend the morning getting the kids ready for school. One of them is upset. You comfort them. You problem solve. You make them feel safe. You spend the afternoon at work. Your boss needs something done by end of day. You say yes. You deliver. You stay late to make it happen. You come home. Your partner had a rough day. They want to talk. You listen. You validate. You help them process. And then they want intimacy. And you realize something. You have been performing all day. Performing as mother. Performing as employee. Performing as partner. And intimacy is just one more performance. One more script you are supposed to follow. So your body opts out. It goes numb, because it knows that if you engage fully, you will be performing again. And you are too tired to perform. If you are still watching it, means you are not alone in this. If this is hitting close to home, stay with me. Because reason 3 is even harder to admit. Reason number 3, invisible resentment. Now let me talk about something even more hidden. Resentment. Not the loud kind, not the angry kind, the quiet kind. The kind that builds slowly over years. It starts small. You notice that you are the one who remembers, who plans, who manages, and no one acknowledges it. You are the one who makes sure everyone has what they need, but no one asks what you need. You are the one who keeps the household running, but it is invisible. No one sees it. No one thanks you for it. You are the one who adjusts, who compromises, who makes space for everyone else's needs. And slowly something shifts inside you. You start to feel less like a partner and more like a service provider. Someone who gives but does not receive. Psychology calls this relational inequity. It happens when the give and take in a relationship becomes imbalanced. And when relational inequity goes unaddressed for long enough, it turns into quiet resentment. You do not want to feel this way. You do not want to be the person who keeps score, but your body is keeping score even if your mind is not. And your body remembers every time your needs were ignored, every time your exhaustion was dismissed, every time you said you were tired and it did not matter. So when intimacy happens, your body says no. Not out loud, but internally. It shuts down. It creates distance. It protects you from giving one more time when you have not been given to. Let me give you a real example. You have been managing the household all week. The kids, the schedules, the meals, the emotional labor of keeping everyone happy and functional. You are exhausted. You say it out loud. I am so tired. Your partner hears it, but nothing changes. They do not offer to help. They do not take something off your plate. They do not ask what you need, and then later that night they want intimacy. And something inside you recoils. Not because you do not love them, but because your body is saying, why should I give to you when you do not give to me? This is not conscious. This is not a decision you are making. This may be your nervous system protecting you from depletion. If you are feeling seen right now, we are only halfway through. Reason 4 is where childhood comes in. Reason number 4, shame conditioning. Now let me talk about something that runs even deeper. How you were raised. For some women, the numbness during intimacy is not just about what is happening now. It is about what happened long before this relationship even began. Psychology shows that early childhood experiences can shape how we relate to our bodies, how we understand touch, how we experience vulnerability. If you grew up in an environment where your boundaries were not respected, where you learned that your comfort did not matter, where your body felt like something to be managed rather than something that belonged to you, your nervous system may carry that. Let me give you some examples. Some women grew up being told that their bodies were something to be controlled, hidden, that physical needs or desires were shameful, that good girls do not want those things. So when intimacy happens later in life, there may be a conflict. Part of you wants connection, but another part of you has been taught that wanting is wrong, that pleasure is selfish, that your body is not something to enjoy, and your nervous system cannot reconcile those two things. So it shuts down. It goes numb, because numbness is safer than shame. Other women grew up in households where touch was conditional, where affection was given only when you were performing well, being good, meeting expectations. So as an adult, intimacy can feel like performance, like you have to earn it, like you have to be perfect to deserve it. And your body knows you are not perfect, so it protects you from the vulnerability of being seen. It creates distance. It numbs sensation, because being numb is safer than being rejected. Still, other women grew up in environments where their emotional needs were ignored, where they learned early that crying got them nothing, that expressing discomfort made things worse, that silence was survival. So as adults, they do not know how to voice what they need. They go through the motions. They perform. They endure. Because that is what they learned to do, and their bodies go numb, because numbness may be the only way they know how to cope with something they cannot control. If any of this is resonating on a deep level, you might want to pause the video and take a breath. This is heavy, and it is okay to feel it. Now we reach the reason that explains why trying harder never works. If this is resonating, subscribe. This channel is for the things women carry in silence. Reason number 5, nervous system shutdown. This is where the science gets important. Your nervous system generally shifts between connection and protection modes. Numbness is the body's emergency brake. In connection mode, you are relaxed, present, open. Your body feels safe enough to be vulnerable. This is where intimacy naturally happens. But when your nervous system detects threat, it switches into protection. And one of the ways it protects you may be through dissociation and emotional numbing. Now here is where it gets important. Your brain does not just register physical danger. It can also register emotional depletion, relational imbalance, the absence of reciprocity. All of these may register as threats. So if intimacy has become something you give, rather than something you share, your nervous system may learn to associate it with loss. Loss of energy, loss of agency, loss of self. And over time, it can start shutting down before intimacy even begins. Your emotional energy is like a battery. Every interaction drains it. Every responsibility, every moment of caretaking. For many women, by the time intimacy happens, you are already running on empty. There is nothing left to give. and your brain, trying to protect you, quietly pulls you back. It creates distance. It numbs sensation. Psychology calls this hypoarousal. It is a state where your nervous system essentially goes offline to conserve what little energy remains. And here's the second layer. If intimacy has ever felt like a performance where you are managing their emotions, their pleasure, their needs, while yours go unacknowledged, your brain may start treating it like emotional labor, not intimacy. Labor. And when something becomes labor, your body stops responding to it with desire or connection. It responds with shutdown. This is not about low desire. This may be about a nervous system that has learned intimacy is not a place of rest. It is a place of responsibility. 2 more reasons to go. Stay with me. Reason number 6. Relational mismatch. Let me talk about something people do not discuss enough. Sometimes the numbness is not about trauma or exhaustion. Sometimes it may be about fundamental mismatch, age difference, life stage difference, emotional maturity difference, different needs around intimacy itself. Let me give you an example. You got married young. Maybe you were 21. Maybe you were 25. You were still figuring out who you were, what you wanted, what intimacy even meant to you. And now you are 10 years older. You have changed. You have grown. You know yourself better. You know what you need. But the relationship dynamic has not evolved with you. Your partner still approaches intimacy the way they did when you were younger, and it does not work anymore. But you do not know how to say that, so you go numb instead. Or maybe there is an age gap. Your partner is older. They may have different expectations, different assumptions about how intimacy should look, and you feel pressure to meet those expectations, to be what they want. But it does not feel natural. It does not feel like you. So your body opts out. Here's another version of mismatch that women rarely name. You need connection before intimacy. You need conversation, presence, emotional safety. You need to feel seen, heard, valued. But your partner does not operate that way. They may see intimacy as the connection. For them, physical closeness creates emotional closeness. But for you, it works the other way around. And you cannot explain that because it sounds like you are rejecting them when really you are just wired differently. So you perform. You go through the motions, and your body shuts down because what is happening does not match what you actually need. Psychology calls this relational incongruence. It can happen when 2 people are operating from fundamentally different models of intimacy. And when this goes unaddressed for long enough, your body stops trying. It stops hoping. It goes numb because numbness is easier than constant disappointment. 1 more reason left, and this one might be the most important. Reason number 7. The absence of reciprocity. This is the thread that runs through everything we have talked about. Intimacy requires reciprocity. It requires mutual care, mutual presence, mutual investment. When intimacy becomes one-sided, when you are the one adjusting, accommodating, making space for their needs while yours go unseen, your body eventually stops participating. Let me describe what this looks like. You initiate connection. You ask about their day. You listen. You create space for them to share. But when you try to share, they are distracted, on their phone, half listening. And you notice. You express a need. You say, I need more time. I need more help. I need you to see me. And they hear it. But nothing changes. Days go by. Weeks. Months. And you realize your needs do not hold the same weight as theirs. You make adjustments constantly. You shift your schedule, your energy, your availability. to meet them where they are. But they do not shift for you. They do not ask what you need. They do not adjust. They expect you to keep adjusting. And slowly something inside you closes. Psychology tells us that reciprocity is essential for relational safety. When reciprocity is missing, the relationship becomes extractive. One person gives, the other takes. Sometimes this imbalance is unintentional, but your nervous system still reacts to it. And your body knows this, even if your mind has not named it yet. So when intimacy happens, your nervous system says no. Not because you do not love them, but because your body is protecting you from giving one more time to someone who is not giving back. This is not conscious. This is not petty. This may be your body setting a boundary you have not been able to set with words. And until reciprocity is restored, the numbness will stay. Because your body will not let you be vulnerable with someone who is not seeing you, not valuing you, not caring for you the way you care for them. So let me say this clearly. You are not broken. You are not cold. You are not frigid. You are not failing at intimacy. What you are experiencing may be your nervous system's way of protecting you from something it has learned to associate with depletion, obligation, performance, invisibility, these 7 patterns. Depletion, performance, resentment, shame, shutdown, mismatch, lack of reciprocity. They are not flaws. They are signals. Your body is not rejecting connection. It may be rejecting the conditions under which connection has been happening. And once you understand this, you can begin to work with it instead of fighting against it. So what do you do with this? Here are 3 principles that address the root cause. But first, a quick note. If numbness is linked to trauma, pain, emotional distress, or if intimacy is physically painful, speaking to a licensed therapist or medical professional can help. This video is for understanding, not treatment. 1. Recognize the signal. Do not override it. When you feel nothing, your instinct might be to push through, to force yourself to engage, to fake enthusiasm, to perform connection. But psychology tells us that ignoring your nervous system's signals only deepens the disconnect. Instead, pause. Notice the numbness without judgment. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to protect me from right now? This is called interoceptive awareness, the ability to listen to your body's internal signals. Real life example. Next time you notice yourself going blank, instead of forcing presence, simply acknowledge it. I am noticing I am not here right now. My body needs something different. This is not rejection. This is honesty. And honesty is where safety begins. Number 2, name what is invisible. One of the biggest reasons women go numb during intimacy is invisible exhaustion. The mental load, the emotional labor, the constant management of everything and everyone. Before intimacy can feel safe, the invisible work needs to be visible and shared. Real life example. Sit down with your partner and make the invisible visible. Here is everything I am tracking. Here is what I am managing. Here is what is taking up space in my mind. When your nervous system stops carrying the entire weight, it has room to open again. 3. Rebuild safety slowly. If intimacy has become associated with obligation or performance, your nervous system needs to learn that it can be something else. Psychology shows that emotional safety is built through small, consistent moments of non-demanding connection. Conversations without agenda, presence without expectation, time together that does not lead anywhere. Real life example. Sit together without phones. Talk about something that matters to you. Not logistics, not responsibilities, just you. Let connection exist without it needing to lead to anything. This teaches your brain that intimacy can be restful, not costly. Here's the mental model to remember. Intimacy is not a performance. It is a place you enter, And your nervous system will only let you enter that place when 3 conditions may be met. Number 1, you feel safe. Number 2, you have space. Mental, emotional, physical. Number 3, you experience reciprocity, where intimacy is about both of you, not just one. When any of these 3 are missing, your body may create distance. Not because you are broken, but because it is protecting you from giving more than you have. This is the hidden psychology beneath the numbness. Not a failure of love, a failure of conditions. And when you start rebuilding those conditions, safety, space, reciprocity, your body may begin to trust intimacy again. Not all at once, but slowly, in small, quiet ways. So if you have been carrying this, feeling nothing while pretending to feel everything, know this: your numbness is not the problem. It is the signal. It may be your body's way of saying, I need something different. I need space. I need to be seen, not just needed. And that is not rejection. That is self-preservation. The women who feel nothing during intimacy are not cold. They may be exhausted, overextended, living in a version of connection that costs more than it gives. But when you start listening to what your body is trying to tell you, when you stop forcing presence and start creating the conditions for it, something can shift, not overnight, but steadily. Because your body does not want to be numb. It wants to feel. It wants connection. It may just be waiting for intimacy to become a place of rest again, not another place where you have to perform. And when that happens, presence can return, not because you forced it, but because your nervous system finally felt safe enough to let you back in. You are not broken. You may be protecting yourself, and now you know why. Subscribe to The Rare Psyche, where we explore the psychology you carry in silence.